to activate all these people, it's like your response is to activate all these people and to get a hashtag trending. And so, I mean, that's kind of ironic to me, but clearly people will follow you wherever you go. And I just see this sort of as a furtherance of the death of YouTube as it becomes more and more corporate and uninteresting.
Well, outlets like the Wall Street Journal are threatened by independent media of any sort. We talked about this journalist, Yori Ko. I mean, yeah, if you never heard of her before today, like her articles, nobody reads that. Nobody knows who this person is. The only reason you know who she is now is because she was attacking our show and we talked about her. I mean, nobody cared. I'm sorry, I'll calm down. I was about to go into kill stream mode. Nobody cared about the stuff she was saying. They're only interested in tearing down. That's their whole thing. And YouTube actually needs to be called out themselves because just disgraceful behavior for YouTube to completely cave over this. I mean, just the precedent that sets that, oh, some people are putting in super chats that are, whatever, beyond the pale. And the creator is somehow responsible for that. Just think about what they're saying there. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
YouTube is filling their own grave right now. So
yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I guess this means that anybody can go on to any stream and super chat something offensive, and so that stream's going to get taken down. It's Pandora's box that they're opening.
It's
totally ridiculous. And I mean, even it's like she sent. I have this email here in front of me that she sent to you that was published on Twitter, and it says, one of the things she quotes as an example of this like anti-Semitic stuff that's posted in the comments. It says 148 gang gang, which obviously is like a wrongly worded like anti-Semitic thing. Like it's clearly a joke to me. It's clearly sarcastic. It's like,
well, even the other ones that are a little, even the other jokes, the Doc Owl joke. I mean, look, that is an edgy joke. Let's face it, but it's not. I don't mean it's just somebody making a joke. I don't know.
It's a joke, and they're going to take away $26,000 from children's cancer research because of an edgy joke from some anonymous donor. It's like it's totally absurd, which is why I wanted
would you even bring that in? If your goal is to take us down, okay. I understand you guys are salty. You want to take the kill stream down. That makes sense. but to bring in the charity thing, just why? Just leave that alone. Don't. And it's 100% them that put the heat on St. Jude and got this done. It's just despicable, honestly. One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen from a media outlet, and that is saying a lot because I've seen a lot of disgusting behavior from them. So,
yeah, it definitely is. Now, in terms of you personally, obviously.
Okay. So I just really just started streaming that. And so first of all, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm your host Bunkei, and with me I have Jim. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, what you guys just heard is this YouTube. He's has a YouTube channel. This guy has a fairly large user base, and his YouTube channel was deleted because YouTube didn't like the content, but which would have been fine because that's YouTube's prerogative. But he took donations to St. Jude's, and YouTube undid all the donations, and which, to his point, I don't understand the reason behind that. I don't unless the donations were done illegitimately, like through a scam or something like that, then that's one thing. But that was not the case here. I mean, they could have just deleted his show without refunding the donations to St. Jude's Hospital. But I know it's like out of spite. I don't know. And this is very concerning because we have a YouTube channel, obviously, that this is being hosted on. And guess what? This definitely can happen to us. And it has become clear that YouTube has a monopoly, that it is definitely not afraid to use its muscles to flex its muscle. And because again, I mean, YouTube has no credible reason why they would have undone the donations, because the donations were gathered legitimately, and the content of the channel is besides the point. It has nothing to do with it. So, yeah, I mean, that one was Well, I mean, and listen, I don't listen to that YouTube channel. I didn't find out about it until just 10 minutes ago. But that is a very interesting scenario.
Well, another really interesting thing is I was watching it live when it got taken down. It got taken down as soon as he started talking about the writer and how her family was caught in like a really fucking sketchy money scheme, and it got caught before he could start talking about it. They moved to a different channel that had no flags or nothing else. He started to talk about the same thing after everything else, and that's when they took it down again too. So it like this is not a coincidence.
No, it isn't. And wow. And I mean this, and it's interesting though because like Alex Jones, this if you guys didn't catch it, this was aired on Alex Jones' site. You know, Alex Jones himself is banned off of almost all social media, even though that you know it didn't feature anything illegal, and he doesn't even use harsh language, and yet he is banned off of almost every form of social media: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. He's banned off of all of it. And whether you agree with him or not, I don't. I think that once in a while he stumbles across something interesting.
Yeah.
But he's a hack. He's a hack. We just got through watching this commercial for one of his. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. This is a good segue. So okay. So prior to that interview with this guy that got his YouTube channel taken down, there was a commercial for. Let me scroll up here.
And well, not even just to end it. Like the big deal isn't the YouTube channel. That is a big deal. But the big deal is they had $26,000 in donations to child's cancer. Just
and that was spiteful.
Like, nah, fuck you.
It was spiteful. It definitely was spiteful because it had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with it.
That's the worst part because now these kids get fucked over.
Right.
Potential, but it's a fuck that shit. That's so bad.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, the donations were gathered legitimately, and it was a direct. It did not go to him, and then he donates it. That actually he set it up, so it goes to St. Jude. So there's no chance of him actually pocketing the money and running off with it.
Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to clarify.
But just to clarify,
and that commercial, oh my god.
Okay. So Alex Jones had this commercial, and it's for Survival Shield X3. Which sounds like a lost X-Men comic. It's on sale for $19.95, regular price $39.95. What is this? It's a liquid.
Still don't know.
It's a liquid that contains iodine. And okay, he goes on this spiel for a good 5 or 10 minutes about how great it is and how pure it is and how it's absolutely the best there is. Never ever talks about what it's supposed to do for you. That's scary. Because that's not by accident. Because if he said what it does for you, that's something that could be possibly measured, right? Someone can take that claim and they can investigate that, and if they don't find that claim is valid, he can be liable for that, obviously. And so he talks about this, and he just goes on and on and on, and I wish I could replay the commercial. And he never says what positive benefits it is to you. Other than at the very end, he talks about your mind being awakened. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Again, that's a vague term that, I mean, can be up to interpretation. That there's no rational way of testing that to see whether or not, I mean, it's so.
He's just such a fucking, to me, he's just the ultimate snake oil salesman.
Oh yeah,
that's just all. And you're right, because every once in a while he does say something that really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
But then, for every one time he does that, he does something like that commercial. That's a disgrace.
And the thing about it, though,
that is a disgrace.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And the fact of the matter is that one time when he was being interviewed and he was just chest thumping, I guess. And he talks about how his show brings in 40 million a year. And which, of course, he tries to say he does not take any, hardly anything from it. It all goes back into the business. Okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah, you got to pay that divorce somehow.
Yeah, all right, and the thing though is that yeah, exactly. And the thing though is that if you're making a serious profit from this, then that leads to the question: is how are you any different than the people you're trying to expose? Because
All the same.
you both have financial gain out of it. So I mean, you can hardly ever be considered a neutral party in this because you do stand to profit from it. I mean, he makes his living off of fear mongering. That's his whole MO, is to talk about how everything is a conspiracy and to make you paranoid, and it keeps you coming back for more. And he made it work. If anything, I can tip my hat off to him because he actually made it work. And no one gave. I don't think so. I mean, at least nothing. No one gave him the money to start all this. I mean, he started this all himself and got other people to join in, and now he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, and it's also funny to think like everyone now that isn't familiar with him, like people much younger than we are, they look at him as solely the alt-right super guy against all this. I remember Alex Jones when people were saying he was a fucking left wing nut because he was protesting the shit out of George Bush after 9/11. Like,
right.
He's, I don't even think he has a political party or whatsoever. I think right now he's fucking catering for money to Trump.
I mean,
it's whatever. But as far as the guy has, I don't know, his past rather is kind of.
I mean, and not to mention,
I give him credit because he's always going after corruption, at least, in his own mind.
Right, in his own mind, and like I said, once in a while he hears something that makes you go, "Hmm."
Yep, like the turning the fucking frogs gay. With the water.
Right. But he's hardly neutral in all of this, and he does very well for himself, and it's it. I would love for him to give a tour of his home.
Yeah, you mean like a state?
Yeah, his manor.
Yeah. Oh, that's the word. Or plantation.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in Texas.
But yeah, I mean, and it's kind of funny now. He's probably as rich, or if not richer, than some of the senators and the governors he talks to that's closing, and and my gosh. Okay, by the way, speaking of YouTube channels that got taken down, all right, I posted this a few months ago, but there's this black dude that he's very popular. He does this out of this world reaction to Smash Brothers. He even broke a shelf, and I think he broke his thumb on it. And when he was announcing the characters and everything, he just lost his mind. And he was popular before that, but he's mainly, well, anyway, he went ape shit and posted porn on his YouTube channel and got his YouTube channel taken offline. I don't, and there are people on Reddit and the such, and on social media there are concerned about his mental state.
I think I know who you're talking about.
His name is Eddie. He goes by Edika. On there, yeah.
Didn't he supposedly call somebody and then it got put onto YouTube from he's like, oh, I'm in the mental institution right now?
I know his girlfriend is on YouTube and the like, and it's kind of funny. This girl sounds like if you look up hoe in a dictionary, you will see a picture of this heifer because when people were worrying about him, she's like, he's fine. He said he's fine. Dick's still functioning. That's what she put in the Twitter post.
Oh, that's classic.
I'm like, wow. And I'm like, but anyway, for whatever reason, Etika, he sabotaged his own YouTube channel, which was a big stream of income, considering how many people were browsing his channel. It's enough. It's enough to make you go, what was he thinking? But anyway, I thought I'd look that out there. Speaking of people being exposed.
So last night was interesting. I haven't, since I left IRC, I don't watch anything related to that genre whatsoever. I don't really watch games or definitely don't watch drama streams or anything like that. But Rob posted in here about Mike Watson going and just letting a lot of things just air out. And one of the things were several accusations against Mr. Wizard himself. It started with him saying that he was, stealing money from the arcades he was working at. But Mike Watson himself said, "Oh, we all did that too." But I mean, I guess Mr. Wizard did even worse than that. And then just a bunch of shady shit. And then he got to the one where, here's what I'm surprised about before I get to it. Before we went on, because I had heard it live, I was trying to find any sort of post about this because in my head, this should be like, something a lot of people are talking about.
Right.
But even at our Kappa, like the place of fucking just degeneracy drama,
right.
And they're fucking, I found nothing. So Mr. Wizard has a lot of accusations against him about being a gay pedophile, apparently. And he had offered somebody who's well known, who was not named, tickets to something if he had done 25 naked jumping jacks for him. And like I said, I'm not saying this as fact. I'm repeating what Mike Watson said. And this is just an eye opener of like a what in the fuck. And he also it wasn't just Mr. Wizard, it was Mr. Serlin himself, he said was a rapist.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he said he raped a girl. So he started to say, it's weird, man. So he started to say, oh yeah, he said, oh, Serlin's a rapist. And he just started like ranting about some other bullshit. And then he ended the statement with, yeah, he raped some chick and a PS1 controller was involved. So fuck that guy.
Wow.
So I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I really have no idea. But it was clear Mike is a very bitter person, rightfully so or not rightfully so, depends on how you look at it. Like he's frustrated, but it was not, jab hour. It was, oh, I'm coming at you as hard as I can.
So in full disclosure for the people that are listening right now, obviously this is he said, she said.
Yes, I'm not saying anything I'm saying right now. I'm not saying as a matter of fact, and I'm not saying it from my personal opinion or anything like that. I'm simply repeating what was said by Mike Watson last night.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And
that's it.
But I will tell you this, all that are listening right now. I can say that for a certainty that is not the first time I heard that Wizard has been accused of soliciting underage boys. There is a member that I know, and I honestly I cannot tell you how I originally heard about this rumor. But I went to the person in question who still visits the IRC channel several years ago, and I asked him, "Hey, is it true that Wizard asked for naked pictures of you when you were like 15, 14 or 15?" He said, "Yes." Now, he is moved on. He did not want a big deal made about it. So if someone were to ask me, why am I now saying this, is because I did it out of respect for the person that was involved. He did not want a big thing, a political firestorm around or anything like that in the FGC. He didn't want anything, and I respected that. Plus, nothing ever happened. If something did happen, I might have taken a different course. But since it was merely a solicitation and he obviously didn't do it, I was like, okay. So again, that is also hearsay. But I think that one thing that I can say for a fact is that that is not the only time that there has been an accusation against this man for pedophilia. And or I mean, well, really not, but I guess pedophilia might be the wrong word because that involves actually having relations with someone that's underage, but child porn.
Yeah, that would be more accurate.
So it's interesting. We'll see what will come out of this, because the one thing about predators is that you can bet that if the two instances, the one instance that Mike Watson mentioned and the instance that I am talking about, if those two instances are true, they're surely are not the only ones. That there's usually almost always a pattern, and it'll be interesting to watch what becomes of this. Because honestly, I think that the bar has already been met that he should not run Evo. He should not be around children, or I guess children. He should not be around anyone that's under the age of 18. But not just because the thing about it is that he has a lot of clout because he is the organizer of Evo, and he can use that clout to take advantage of young people, and that is simply an unacceptable risk. If I were the Cannons, now again, they can do what they want, I mean that's purely my opinion, because even if these allegations are false, I still could not have someone that have these type of allegations toward them be running my tournaments, where people from all over the world and all age groups come and convene.
Now, and, what really, I'm trying to even find it somewhere else. I can't. There's nobody is talking about it. If I just go into Twitter right now and I type in Mr. Wizard, I get nothing regarding that. I tried Watts, Mr. Wizard, nothing. All right, let me try Mr. Wiz. Doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't. No, it's just lively. Just nobody on Twitter has said anything. Nobody on the most degenerate website, which is our Kappa. That seriously. And I can't.
And probably the reason for that is that no victims have stepped forward.
Yeah, I know that, but
know, and
think no. Think of everything else though. That wouldn't stop people from posting about it.
True.
Especially people that have agendas against certain people.
True.
So for there to be absolutely nothing, minus I found one thing where it was an afterthought in R Kappa. I'm not even going to link it because it literally is just a complete afterthought. They were more focused on, you know, how Watson has gone off the deep end.
But yeah, and you know, and that's how if you know that's how that people they're gonna because you know they're gonna be people that will come out in defense of Wizard and they will just say this is just sour grapes. This is just a desperate attempt to discredit a pillar of the community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and like I said, actually, I haven't said this before. I've had dinner with, and I've had drinks with Mr. Wizard in the past, and he has never done anything wrong in my eyes. I never thought anything sketchy or anything like that. Just totally normal guy. I have nothing against him, so I just want to be very clear with that. Just like, but that's why that's another reason why when I heard this thing again, I'm like, Jesus Christ! I was like, what the fuck?
But you know, it.
Let me ask you guys because you can answer this because I'm not there. Did anyone even say anything in IRC, Mr. Met? I know you were around. Or could you scroll back and look?
Gilly was the one posted it before the first time, and then he was like, "Oh shit." I think was it Gilly? No. Wait, I think it was Rob actually.
Yo,
I think
it would have been godlike if it was Gilly. So, did anyone say anything?
Really said anything?
Wow.
I could pull it up right now, but
yeah, because you know I was scrolling back. I mean, I'm scrolling back to like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. and Wizard has spoken a few times about other stuff, and no one has said anything to him about it or questioned him about it, and it's just yeah, no one has said anything.
How are we the only ones to bring that? Like, I don't understand. Like that's something that you can't just bury that again, dude. Especially once it gets put out there, and especially considering, you know, you had heard firsthand from, you know, supposedly other hearsay regarding the same thing or a similar thing.
Yeah.
That's oh man. That's just it's weird to see nobody talking about it.
Yeah, and it's I don't have a great explanation for you as to why no one is no one is not saying very much of anything. And but I believe that if these accusations are true, it is a matter of time. Now, I believe that more now than ever. If there is truth to these allegations, it is, you know, it is a ticking time bomb, and it will eventually catch up with him. And if he is guilty of it, the best thing he can do is to resign from Evo, and that's and to save, because you know the thing about it though is that um if this is left out there and in public knowledge, and yet no one does anything, then it can obviously reflect poorly on Evo as well.
Yeah, I think the very least that Joey should do is to come out and either I would address it. I would at least just say like, this is bullshit. Like, this never fucking happened.
Right.
Like, I think totally ignoring it. But you know what? No, it's not crazy to have totally ignored it because nobody's fucking talking about it. So I don't know. I'm looking at this from like I'm trying to reason here between. I don't know. This is a real tough one, dude. And I have a kid, so I'm extra.
Right.
Fucking yeah. So. Oh.
And you know, And again, yeah, until somebody confronts him with it in a public form of some kind.
I think it would have happened by now.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason I have kind of whatever about it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I just think that eventually, if these accusations are true, it is only a matter of time before it catches up with him, and so, I mean, he might think that he might be able to get away with it if he's guilty of it, but I don't think he will.
He's sort of he's typed a few suspect shit on RC the past like one or three times over the past 3 years or something.
Like what?
let me try to find the log.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Here
this
comes
is why
the
this is
log.
why we have our resident. He'll do our data mining for us. Because Lord knows the black guy and Hispanic, we're not doing that.
Right, exactly. And
I'm trying to make it light for a second.
But the thing about it though is that and that's another thing why, like, if he's guilty of this, why he wouldn't get away with it, because you can't hold that. I mean, eventually it gets out. People try to, even the best slip up now and then. Hiding double lives and such. And
yeah, I mean, and there were other stories told, but and they were talking about, and well, not they, but Mike himself was talking about how certain sponsors were getting in under the table and games are getting in because of money that was supposed to be going somewhere, but going supposedly. I'm not saying this is fact. Again, I cannot stress this enough, but Watson was saying Wizard himself was directly pocketing money to get games in, and this, that, and the other, and accusing him of taking advantage of the Ponders or the Cannons. Sorry, God.
I was gonna say Ponders, but I mean,
So I just it was weird to me to be just kind of chucked right back into that kind of thing for the FGC, because I hadn't really been paying all too much attention. Don't care about Soul Calibur 6.
Right.
And I don't know, I don't know even why I clicked the link last night, but I clicked it and I was like, holy fucking shit.
Okay, hold on. There is something going on. Why did Trigon say get the FBI searching Sterling's PC? Why did he say that? What was it? Are they talking about it now?
Naya was saying, like, he heard Watson call Sterling a pedo. I don't know.
A rapist.
I didn't hear that.
I heard.
Oh yeah, something like that.
He called Sterling a rapist. He only called Mr. Wizard the other thing.
Okay. Huh.
Oh my gosh. And interesting.
Well, these are our peers.
No. I mean, it's Defiance said it right. I mean, that's it's a pretty serious claim, and but
where's Defiance? He's not on the.
Oh, I mean, in IRC, I'm just watching.
Oh, you linked it. You linked it in there. You linked this in there.
I asked Nanaya about if he watched it. He's like, "Oh, I don't really care about FGG drama, whatever." And then now they're actually talking about it a little bit. I guess nobody actually saw it though.
And this is where you're between a rock and a hard place, because again, without any proof or someone or a victim coming forward, this is what's gonna be. Most of people might say is that this is just,
it's libel.
Yeah, it's libel, and it's there might be just another example of sour grapes type of thing. So,
which it's I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of fucking possibility.
Of course. You know,
I don't know.
Actually,
I don't know where I lean with this.
There are a bunch of actual FCC people in the stream on Wizards on Watson's stream.
Yeah, I know.
That time.
Yeah, there was a
Killer
lot of
Kai
OGs.
was on. Arturo was there. Like fucking
Saber.
everybody. Yeah.
Killer Kai.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was their response to when he started going on a diatribe against Wizard and
Oh, they were like.
Yeah, they were like burn it down, basically.
Yeah.
Burn.
No one's saying it on social media, but I'm sure like it's going around in the circle right now. Pretty sure.
Oh, they talking about? I mean, they talking about burning Watts shit down or burning Wizard shit down?
I don't. No. They were encouraging like the whole thing. Like, and like I said, it wasn't just aimed at Wizard. The whole thing last night.
Yeah.
But they were just saying fuck it, like go for it. Like if you watch the re-stream on Twitch and like Mr. Missette, if you just look at the names, you're gonna be like, oh shit. You'd be like, these are not fucking Bob Donuts. This is crazy.
Wow. But I'm still of the belief that if he's true, if these accusations are true, that eventually, and it's really I read a disgusting statistic. It was
Hungby
something
was in
like,
there too,
huh?
and Perfect Legend. Oh my god, dude, there's so many people. Oh wow, sorry, I'm just looking at the
like the list of people there.
Yeah. I can't actually because it's a archive. So what I have to do is you have to click in the middle or any part of the video, and you just have to wait for the names to show up. But you see them and it's like, oh god, and just going in, dude, going in. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just
no. It just
when I saw Hungby, he talked about Hung last night. Oh man. And he's told one specific story involving Mr. Wizard and Hungby that had nothing to do with like child or anything like that. Like nothing like that. But then he's just like, ask Hung, he's right here. He'll tell you this actually happened. And yeah. I don't know, dude.
I mean, and you know what? And the thing about it though is that we were talking about, whether or not this is sour grapes or there's something to it. It might be both.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. I mean, obviously, since nobody.
You didn't tell him about the Canon Award story.
Oh, you can tell him about that one.
By the way, I just posted on RC channel. Mr. Wizard, any comment?
Oh God.
I don't think he's on though.
Yeah.
Oh, he is on. Oh shit.
Oh, this will be great. Oh, you two are banned.
If he bans me, he knows that will backfire. Because all that
not really,
does,
because there's still no evidence. Like I don't know, man. Like I'm playing this one on the fence.
No,
I'm
because
on the fence
listen,
there's no evidence against him, so I can't damn the guy. That's fucked up.
Right. But if he bans me or anybody else for questioning him, then
that doesn't look good.
Right, it doesn't look good, and it won't go away because anyone's going to talk about, Bunkei got permanently banned for asking if you have any comment about the accusations against him. So so on one hand, yes, he can ban me, which fine. But I mean, it's no skin off my back.
Yeah.
Now if I really was motivated, I could make him pay dearly for doing that. But part of me just like let it go.
Nah, yeah, I mean,
but at the same time though, let me just step into what my feelings are.
Okay.
My feelings is that again, prior to last night with Watson, I knew about this, and and I find that the story, is credible. Because the person that is involved has actually he talks to Wizard when he comes in, and other people. I mean, he has no sour grapes whatsoever, and he has made no, and he has basically sworn me to secrecy in the sense that he does not want to be, he don't want this to get out and all of that. So there's no angle where I can see why he lie about this. And so for me personally, if you're going to ask me what was my feeling, do I think that this is true? I'm going to have to say yes, because I can't find any reason why this particular person will lie about it, because he has not used it against Wizard in any way. He could have really made a spectacle out if he really wanted to. He could have took those logs and gave them over to various people, and I mean, he could, even though this is way before the YouTube era, but I mean, he could have done so many different things, and he hasn't. And and to me, I just think that, yeah, I think that it's credible, and I believe that this person was telling the truth. And it's more like hide your wife, hide your kids. I mean, if you're around him, eh, I'll just say this: if there are any underage guys there, just you might want to make sure they're not never alone with this dude. That's just I'm sorry, but again, I have no proof, and neither in even though that I believe is credible, I have no proof, and it's still he said she said. But if you're gonna ask me how I truly feel about it, yes, I believe it's credible, um because there was every opportunity to use this against Wizard, and he never did. And this is probably 10 years ago when I first heard about it. Because I've forgotten about it for a long while. And then I was reminded, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, um, and yeah, it and but, but, like I said, people who do shit like this, eventually they will get caught. It's not a matter if, it's just a matter when.
Uh,
Yeah, I hear you. You're thoroughly disgusted, and I
it's fucked up, man. Because like I said, like this is somebody that I've known in real life. You know, like not everybody, especially IRC people,
Mhm.
not everybody has met everybody. But I've never, and all this and gone out and no problems, this, that, and the other. It's just it's really is bothering. It's really bothering.
Yeah, because it's like the person isn't maybe isn't all the
Yeah.
person you know.
Well, and it was also funny because when I first clicked the stream, it escalated so quickly. It was Watts talking shit, as that's fucking what he does. And he's like, "Oh, fuck Mr. Wizard. That guy fucking sucks at games. He's fucking trash. He's never good." Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is boring. And then it went from that to like, yeah, he's a fucking pedophile. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, bro, that's a jump. A little bit of a topic change. I don't know. You guys
Now, getting
anything from IRC?
no, no, and I have an idea, and my idea is to talk to this person and ask him that, since it's now being publicly talked about,
He's not going to do it.
I'm pretty sure he won't,
He's not
but
gonna.
I also want I also want this person to understand that he probably is doing this to other boys, and that you don't know, this might be, and probably is the tip of an iceberg. And because I mean these predators, they strive, they thrive in silence, and because because of the stigma. If this was about someone punching someone in the face and breaking their nose, which is violence, which is also despicable. I mean, there's no stigma with that. But with sex abuse, especially when it involves children, it's there's a stigma not just for the perpetrator and the victim, but those who witness it, or they have good authority know that it's taking place, because this has all the time you hear. I should say all the time, but I have seen so many instances where child abuse victims, um especially with female victims, where where they were being abused by like a stepdad or a living boyfriend, and the mom knew about it.
Yeah.
And never said a word. This man is raping your daughter and you don't say a word. And it's I mean, it's like what was that movie with was it Demi Moore? No, it was Meg Ryan. In that movie, where she was a soldier and she was raped by her platoon, and her
G.I.
father.
Jane?
Huh? Was it
G.I. Jane?
Was it is that it? Oh my
Isn't
god.
isn't that Demi Moore?
It's not Demi Moore. It's Meg Ryan, I think. I Yeah. G.I. Jane was that was the one where she was just trying to make it through through the military.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, Meg Ryan was the one where and she was raped to death. And in the movie they talk about the rape, but they talked about I forgot the dude that they would that the oh, it was what's his face from Pulp Fiction and opposite of Samuel Jackson.
Travolta.
Travolta. He was playing the investigator.
It
was the
I know who you're
general.
talking about.
Yes.
I know who you're talking.
Yes, and he was talking to somebody in jail. He was like, "What's worse than rape?" And the guy answered him, "Betrayal." He's like, "What are you talking?" He found out that the general of the army covered the rape up of his daughter because it was going to look bad, and so she was trying to shame him. She stripped herself naked and she laid out in the open and was killed. But she was murdered not by the rapist, but actually she was murdered by another dude that was obsessed with her. Choked her. I mean, I mean, the movie it's intense.
Fucking dark, yeah.
It's a fucking dark thing.
Fuck is that movie? Holy shit.
Yeah, it really was. But it had a really good point. There's a really a good point, and this happens all the time, that parents will cover up, abuse like this because it's just a bad reflection on the family. And
I watch a lot of Tommy Sotomayor videos. It's fucking dark as shit.
What was that?
Have you heard of Tommy Sotomayor?
Oh no, I don't want to go there.
Sotomayor, it wasn't okay.
He's a YouTuber. He covers a lot of like black, like African American related news. It's pretty horrible everything. Oh my god. Like what you said is bad, but like he covers like real life shit and it's worse.
So is it basically Shock Jock, where he covers the most the despicable stories and then and runs away?
But pretty much like it's very it's not the most. Maybe it is actually. Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, and I see people do that, and I mean, and I think it's despicable because they're using really.
Like I don't even want to talk about
right. Yeah, you don't want to even talk about
one
the subject
particular. Oh my
matters.
god, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
you don't even want to
know.
talk about the subject matters that are brought up. But I mean, they call them shock jocks, but this is like the extreme of that, because they're covering the most despicable stories, and then you have and then I mean, and that's and it's sick because they profit off of it, and it's also sick of the people who listen to it because they come back for it week after week or whatever to listen more of it. Like, okay, what you got for me today? Oh, a 2-year-old girl in Kansas was raped with a hot hanger. Something like Of course, I'm just made that up off the top of my head, but I'm obviously I just want the listeners to understand what I mean by that is that this is the type of shit that some people cover, and and they get a massive following of it because all they do, I mean, it's shocking, all this deplorable stuff that even mainstream newspapers and media don't cover because it's simply too graphic. It is absolutely too graphic. But there are definitely online magazines and podcasts that covers it and goes into detail, and I think that they do that for financial gain, and also I think there's a there's a fascination with it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's to be said about anything. That's why the dark web. That word's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's why it exists, and it always has existed.
Right.
For everything.
I came across. I can't even remember now because it's been so long ago. I mean, it's just I came across some a few years ago when I was still doing alphas and radio. And I remember I had to kind of have to stop myself because I was like, man, listen to this. This dude did this, that, this, and the other to this person or to these kids or to this, that. And I realized, no, man, don't be. It's bad enough that it happened in the first place, but you don't need to keep on going on and on and on about it, and making a spectacle out of it. And and that's exactly what I realized, okay, I gotta cut this shit short. But going back to my original point, they thrive in environments where there's silence. And I feel like that this stuff needs to come out. I'm not going to force them into it because that's not my place. But I kind of do want to remind this person that we got yet another accusation that, and given that I believe that this person's the story is credible, that person's story might be credible as well, and there's already a pattern here, which is nothing new, which is nothing. Not it should be. I mean, really, we only ask us of one person. Come on now. So, I mean, but unfortunately, it depends on people coming forward on a subject matter that people are taboo about, and it's just you don't talk about it, and that's the other extreme of it. The other extreme is that you don't talk about it to the point where people are getting away with it. Of course, we just talk about the extreme of people profiting off of it and thriving off of it, but also there's the other extreme of it that no one talks about it, so the person keeps on doing it over and over again, and it's just like the coach. It's like it's like Pennsylvania State. This is I mean, and it's kind of funny how brazen that they can get. Let me just take showers with underage boys.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course the manager was like, I mean, the manager of the team was like, that's his thing. I'm not gonna concern myself. And what?
I'm gonna cover up for him, and behind closed doors, I'm gonna say, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop getting caught."
No, and the thing about it though is that if he was still alive, he should be in prison too.
Oh, Bunk, you might like this show. There was like a HBO show about
Patino. I think that's his name.
Yeah. No, God, no. Rick Pitino.
That shit.
Bunk, that's not even the right sport.
Is it?
No, Rick Pitino coaches basketball.
No, isn't his last name Patino or something? I'm so sorry.
No,
It's Paterno. It's
Okay,
Joe
Paterno.
Paterno.
I'm sorry. Okay, I was reasonably close. It wasn't like it was completely a different word. Okay,
I know, but you had me
I'm
freeze for a
so
second because I'm
sorry.
like,
I'm
wait, Rick
sorry.
Pitino raped kids?
I know. Oh my gosh. I was so. I
Oh man, you just
apologize.
libeled
Oh
hard,
my
bro.
gosh. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god.
My shit's slander.
Oh my.
Those words always fuck me up. Slander is spoken, libel is written.
Mm, yeah.
In the UK, you get jailed for covering that kind of story.
Oh, of course.
Unless it's a grooming gang.
I mean, but the thing about it though is that just like the sick fucker from the Olympics who did like who raped how many girls? I mean, you can only do that for so long. You can only do that long if there's other people covering your ass.
Of course.
And
what the fuck?
What's wrong?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna post this. Give me a sec. Boom, boom. Make sure it works. Okay, it works. So. What?
Is this talking about Dr. What's her face? Or this
I don't
is another
know.
woman?
Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, let me find the original. Wow, it's not a Photoshop. It really is real. All right, I'm gonna post from. Holy shit, dude! From the actual government website. Here we go.
Wow. Okay, so for the people wondering, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, if you're not in the Discord, come to the Discord. But we'll tell you.
But basically, another woman, not Dr. Ford, but another woman who came forward and said that Judge Kavanaugh raped her.
Miss Judy Monroe Layton for investigation of potential violations of 18 United States Code 1001 parentheses materially false statements and obstruction of justice for materially false statements she made to the committee during the course of a committee's investigation. And she claimed he raped her, and then she went on to say they've never met. Wow. And it even has her handwritten letter. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, and it's in San Diego. I know exactly where that is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Wait, Kamala Harris? She lived that close to me? Fuck that shit. Her office was that close?
Serious?
Dude, yeah. I lived off G Street. She was 600 B Street. Yeah, she was right there. Anyway, that's interesting. Yeah, if you scroll down, you can see it.
Wow. Let's talk about this for a second.
This is interesting.
There are people who think that this is the very definition of evil, where the ends justifies the means. In her mind, she's like, he's a rapist. I'm gonna make up a story because at the end of the day, if my story gets him put in jail or not on a Supreme Court justice, that is a good thing.
That's a win.
And it's just absolutely backwards thinking. But there's a lot of people who, let me just tell you a story that just came out today, that you won't read, because it's in concerns Bank of America. A manager and 3 bankers got fired today, all in the same branch. What they did was that they cheated to hit their sales goals, similar to what you've been hearing on Wells Fargo. And they the manager, he was going to pocket tens of thousands in just one quarter from what he would have made in bonuses. And how do people go to bed at night and live with doing this? And then I realized that people, I'm a big fan of Star Trek and Star Wars. In Star Trek, there's a race called the Vulcans. They believe in logic is above all else. Now take the emotions out of it, and there's logic. But there's this great scene in the Voyager series where Captain Janeway is confronting her security officer who went behind her back. That's a Vulcan. And went behind her back. And she's like, that's the power of logic and its flaw. You can use logic to defend anything. And so a lot of people will probably say, in this situation, when they hear what I just said, good. I hope he takes 100,000 from the bank. They've been taking money away from the poor and going this diatribe about Bank of America. Bank of America took my house, all of this stuff. In their minds, it's not really wrong for what they did, for what they did. And I'm like, and anybody who thinks that is a moron. They're a moron because it's not like there's all this money they're pocketing. They're going to give it back to the poor. This ain't a Robin Hood situation. They were just merely going to pocket the money and spend it on lavish gifts and whatnot when near the holidays, etc. If I had to hazard a guess. And, there is no such thing as doing wrong for the greater good.
Yeah, that depends on your definition of wrong.
I know. Because you know why? Because of course, because it goes back to what we talked about last week. Who decides what's right, and what's wrong? So, yes. And but I think the statement still stands. But that there's no such thing as like, let me do this wrong for a higher purpose. I mean, because that's the calling card of the tyrant. And the most evil and the most vile. And I think that especially in the United States, I don't think people really understand how Hitler came to power. They couldn't tell you they couldn't tell you anything about Hitler other than he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy, but it's like Hitler is one man. How did he end up getting to where he was? People, most people don't know the story.
They just know he was a Nazi and he hated Jews and he wanted to kill
Yeah, exactly. And even for someone as vile as this man, that's an overly simplistic view of what actually happened. Because it took a whole lot of people to get him where he was. He wasn't just one crazy. He wasn't, was he bad? Of course. Was he evil? Of course. Was he crazy? Not to the people that he was talking to. In fact, you actually might hear this reference, but a lot of people will tell you that if you were to listen to his speeches, if you didn't know it was Hitler, you probably
think it was Obama.
Yeah, people have done this all the time. They have taken statements from Hitler and statements from present and past presidents and be like, same thing. So, And the thing is that the bank announced that they're giving everyone $1,000. So that makes under 100,000 a year. And because you think about this, this is going to cost the bank a lot because this cheating they did involved customers and involves customers' accounts. The bank has to go back and undo all the cheating, let the customers know what happened. So all those customers, if any of those customers decides to go to the media, it will be a black eye. It will mean more oversight for the bank. Elizabeth Warren will want some heads. I mean, people don't think about this. They just think I'm gonna go get mine. They don't think about. I mean, that foresight. They don't have any. And so, so this is really bad news because it only takes one person, as you can see, to cause havoc. Because this can affect the stock price. And they said, are we gonna get a bonus next year? We'll see.
This has been an excellent night of not corrupt news and not sketchy shit. Unbelievable. Man.
So, and I'm reading this letter that she wrote. It's so, there's certain language here that if I'm reading this, that gives me pause. First of all, in a real event, of some type of trauma, there are always details that are unique to that event that has nothing to do with the actual trauma, but they'll mention it because it was part of that memory. I don't see any unique details. It's all very, 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 very general. He forced himself on me as well. I was at a party with a friend. I had been drinking. You know, and a friend offered me a ride home. That's so general. This does not pass the sniff test for me. Because there aren't any there's nothing in this that paints a picture of a very vivid memory. These are all generalizations that you hear of other people's accounts that you're trying to regurgitate. This sounds like the premise of how many movies?
Too many.
Too many to count.
Dude.
Kavanaugh kissed me forcefully. Forcing his kisses on me and putting his hand under my sweater. That what the first movie that reminds me of? The Blob. Remember the dude? No. He puts his hand under the sweater of the girl that was sleeping that was already killed by the Blob. And then the Blob.
That was some solid stuff going on in that. Oh, Lord.
The boy in the back seat reached around, putting his hand over my mouth and holding my arm to keep me in the car. It's just... He pulled up my sweater and bra, exposing my breasts, and reached into my panties, inserting his fingers into my vagina. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Did I ever show you that Harvard Law Review article?
Is that what you was talking about? How they got papers published by peers and?
No, not that one. This is like this Kavanaugh thing where they're just throwing out accusations without any real evidence.
Oh, by the way, I have a okay. And this is another another example of, the so this is a controversy brewing up here in the Northwest. Um, and it's for a um hold on, let me just find it first. Lawmaker under lawmaker under fire for biblical war manifesto. So this is a Washington State lawmaker. His name is Matt Shea. Um, the the county sheriff turned over a document written by Mr. Shea to the FBI. To the FBI. And the way that it's worded is very obviously it's already trying to slant the reader's view. Shea, a Republican representative for Spokane Valley, admitted he wrote Biblical Basis for War, a 4-page document that describes the Christian God as a warrior and details the strategy of a holy army. And listen what the sheriff, the county sheriff, which remember that is an elected position. The document Mr. Shea wrote is not a Sunday school project or an academic study. It is a how-to manual consistent with the ideology and operating philosophy of the Christian Identity Aryan Nations movement and the Redoubt movement of the 1990s. The fuck? You're a sheriff, and who wrote this for you? I have a hard time believing that sheriff from Spokane County, not necessarily a real big city, was able to write something so so specific about ideologies and movements. Sheriff further said, the goals of these groups have always been to create a white homeland consisting of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Oregon, and Washington. The ideas presented in the Biblical War document are how these groups intend to seize control by force should there be a government collapse or civil war. Now, here's the linchpin. Multiple donors to Shea's campaign have asked for refunds since the document was made public. So I took a look at the biblical basis for war. Now, I looked at they said it's like a 34-page, but what they posted was like the table of contents. I don't see anything in here that will suggest that this is a manifesto, which basically you're alluding to something that is actionable, that you're invoking people to take up. This is what the headlines are. God is a warrior. When is the time for war? When God says it's time. Fight to win so you don't have to fight again. 4 things to stay within God's will. Holy cause, holy leader, holy army, and holy camp. Is there anything in here so far that you find there's no specifics? There's nothing mentioned about president or the United States or anything that is specific that invoking someone or inciting someone to overthrow the government. Okay, I'll go on. 4 ways to know it's time to fight. God reveals his will to the leader. Leader inquires of God. God puts it on the hearts of the people. God starts to fight. Okay, this is the one. Things for a holy army. Sacrifice, worship, prayer, circumcision, saved, vow, trumpets, atonement, money, praise to God before, during, after. Okay. What's the big deal?
What the fuck?
There's nothing here. There's nothing here unless I am missing something in. Okay, this is like the table of contents. So unless there's something in because the sheriff would have mentioned it, I'm sure, if he actually said something that's relevant. Because when they asked Mr. Shea about this, he's like, this is about how God acted in the Old Testament. And reading this, I don't disagree with him. I mean, so there's nothing in here that states that any of this is to be happening in the here and now. And again, nothing specific to the United States, to President Trump, or to Congress, or anything. Wow. But they fucked up his campaign. Wow.
Of course they did.
I mean, it's just I mean, it was just absolutely. I mean, and it also talks about okay, and then this mention of alienation, in other words, alleging racism. Don't see it here. They, the most quote unquote controversial comments: stop all abortions, no same-sex marriage, no idolatry or occultism, no communism, must obey biblical law. If this is considered a manifesto, well, shit, all the churches in the freaking country should be under fire then.
Oh, yep.
I honestly, I don't.
What do you say? What am I? I can't follow that.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, I missed the beginning. So what was going on?
So this dude, this lawmaker in Washington, he's under fire because a sheriff from, I presume, I don't even know if, I mean, because he's a state lawmaker, he's not like from Spokane. I'm not even sure if he even lived in Spokane. A sheriff in Spokane turned over a book, for lack of better term, an article he wrote about something called biblical basis for war. He turned it over to the FBI saying that it's a manifesto. I'm sitting there reading through the table of contents for it, and there's nothing in here that's actionable. He don't mention the United States. He does not mention President Trump. He doesn't mention about anything specific to our time period. Because when they asked the lawmaker, he's like, well, yeah, this is how shit was done in the Old Testament, which from looking at me, yeah, it pretty much is. And I don't understand the big deal. But then but the donors that donate to his campaign are asking for refunds. Wow. That's just crazy.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
Okay. I want to touch on something that's
different.
I want to touch on something that's some great news for Star Wars fans.
Oh.
They're
not making anymore?
Not exactly. They are bringing back the Clone Wars. And I really like it. Huh?
The cartoon version, not the movie.
Right. The cartoon version, which was really rather a lot better than the movies. And so I am happy because I thought that it was excellent. I really, really liked it. So good shit to that. They showed, I guess, a trailer at Comic-Con, and the voice actress for Ahsoka is still the same voice actress.
Did you just do like a Knights of the Old Republic show or something?
I would love that. I mean, shoot, man, you know what? I would have liked Old Republic as a trilogy, a Star Wars trilogy. It'd been better than the shit that we watching now.
I've never been more disappointed than the last few Star Wars movies. They're so bad. They're so bad.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so did you guys hear that the Winter Soldier and what's his face, Sam Wilson, are getting their own show?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They're getting their own show. But I really like the actor for the Winter Soldier, and I like what Marvel has done with this character. I like his story arc in Captain America. And I mean, in a way, I mean, well, it was never a secret anyway, but this definitely blows up the ending. I mean, obviously, the ending for Infinity War is nowhere. It's not canon. It's not going to how it's going to really end. I mean, it's the worst kept secret ever. So, but because well, we know that Winter Soldier is going to be alive. So, anyway, yeah. So, and if it's the same, I can imagine that they will try to attempt this with different actors because it wouldn't work, and and it's not like that. Well, I don't know the actor that portrayed that Winter Soldier in Captain America. I mean, he's portrayed that through one, two, and I guess the Avengers would be the third movie. 'Cause two of Captain Americas and the Avengers. So I mean, and then, like I said, I really liked him. I really liked how they did. I like his story. I mean, in fact, the Winter Soldier is my favorite out of the Captain America movies. Um, I thought I thought it was a great fight scene between Winter Soldier and Captain America, and I mean, yeah. So, I mean, so, um, if it's the same writers that's been doing for the movies and everything, it might actually be pretty cool. And it's a limited run, by the way. It's just a limit. It's not going to be like a open ended. Crickets. Okay.
I don't care. Like, I don't know. I was waiting for somebody else to say something, but when it comes to Star Wars, I am so dead to that fucking franchise at this point. After the way that they're just raping it. I can't. I'm just not invested. I don't care.
That reminds me of that. You remember that joke when they're like raping?
Yeah.
I just want another KOTOR game. I don't really care about the fucking movies.
So, Nami, okay. So moving on. I guess no one cares about the Winter Soldier either. Okay.
I did.
I mean, like I said, I
Winter
liked
Soldier. I don't know. We've had this discussion too. Like, I'm not into the comic book movies anymore because they're just trash. It's like 2.5 hours of a movie where nothing happens, and then it's just like, oh, we'll go see the next movie.
No, that's true. The law of the cliffhanger. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, but I knew what was going to happen in the Infinity War. I just can't believe they had the balls to do it because I knew that from reading it. So that was cool. They actually did it, but they're going to undo it, obviously. But I don't know.
I kind of wish they kept the real reason for him to do that shit. It would have been a lot funnier.
I mean, if you read the books, it's exactly. I mean, they do undo it in the books, so it's not like that crazy. I think that.
Yeah, but it's how they haven't even fucking. They're not even going to introduce Adam Warlock, who's retarded.
Oh yeah,
fucking retarded. So it's going to be women's rights doing everything.
Wait a minute, but wait a minute. Isn't the end? Wait a minute. Did not the ending to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
I didn't see that movie either.
Oh, you need to watch
the one where his father fucks shit up?
Yeah, Jim, you need to see that because there's an ending there you need to see.
Well, I know all about what happens in like the universe. I just don't. I don't know. I saw the last Marvel movie that I saw. Oh man. Maybe Iron Man 3.
Ew. No, I don't blame you for that being your last movie because that was
I think that might have been the last one. No,
that was absolute
I'm getting my time frame all messed up here because I saw the Avengers.
You mean Avengers 2, right?
No, I never saw Avengers 2.
You never saw the Age of Ultron? That was good.
Neither did I.
That was good. I didn't mind. Iron Man 3 was shit.
Hold on a second.
Was dog shit. But Age of Ultron was really good. By the way,
no, but is Sam Wilson gonna be the Hawkman or whatever you want to call him? I forget.
Huh?
Which Sam Wilson are they gonna do? Are they gonna do him as in like caped, or are they gonna do him Captain America style?
I don't know, but it's him. It's just interesting. Why him and the Winter Soldier? I guess I guess I need a comic book aficionado because I'm guessing that
Well,
because
all right, I'll explain it to you. All
Mm.
right, I'll explain it to you. What happened was, he becomes Captain America.
I heard that in the comics I heard that he does take the mantle of
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
America.
And then they basically kill off Captain America by making him a Nazi.
What? What?
Oh, you
You
mean
Yeah,
when
they made him a
when he
Nazi, and then they basically killed him. They basically killed him off in a certain,
I
like,
mean, I heard that in the
another
nearest
version of.
in the
no,
new.
he dies of Civil War, and then later on, he gets exposed as a Hydra agent.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
No. What happened?
Mm.
No, Mets. What happens is they actually another version of him comes out, and then kills the current one, and then it's like,
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
nice.
Okay. Okay. And by the way, is that comic book canon that the Winter Soldier um kills Iron Man's parents?
I think that's only in the movie.
Mm.
I don't know if it's in the comics.
Okay. By the way, have you guys been? I mean, have you guys heard about Toy Story 4?
I read some. I saw some kind of headline like Tom Hanks. Was it Tom Hanks or some shit?
I mean,
Saying
it's not
like it's
just
gonna be
Tom
like the best
Hanks,
thing or something.
but what's his face from Home Improvement. And then they saying
Tim
that this
Allen.
is that this is
Someone's
definitely
echoing. Sorry.
there's definitely something going to happen in the movie because they both had trouble getting through their lines on the movie. Both are very emotional about the movie, so that's really interesting.
I didn't see the last one yet.
Well,
I
I mean, even 3 was good. 3 was probably
I'm gonna
a
watch
good
that.
one too.
I like the third one. I thought the third one was cute, and it was just so. I mean, and I was, which makes back the question. Of course
I
you
thought it was
can't,
more sad.
huh?
I thought it was more sad than like
Yeah,
cute.
and that's the thing that gets me is like, I mean, the Toy Story is always upbeat and everything. I don't mean, but I mean, should it be leaving your kids crying at the end of the movie? And I mean, Toy Story 3 did an okay job. It kind of let okay, the toys aren't going away. Excuse me, they're just going to a new home, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not like that. Toy Story 4 is gonna. There's something definitely gonna happen because they've had trouble getting through their lines. So.
Sorry about that. My kid, she woke up, so she lost her pacifier. She's okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, okay. What you guys have?
I was watching something Visor was Visor was talking about, and it just made me think about it. How WWF or what is it, WWE?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing all this like super pro women shit, this, that, and the other, and they did an event today in fucking Saudi Arabia where all the women were banned.
Oh, the what? You got cut off right when you said that.
All the women were banned. All the women wrestlers.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it was just all men, I guess. So like they're trying to preach this thing to us, like, or to the United States rather, not to us, and they're like, oh, women this, women's power, da 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 da. But they're taking this cash. Obviously, they were probably paid so much fucking money to do this, just to go to a country where they're not even allowed to bring their female athletes or performers, rather. I don't know. I just find that fucking ironic.
Of course, and they're trying to preach out Saudi Arabia as like one of the most feminist, like, Middle Eastern country.
Bitch, they barely let them drive now.
Oh, they barely.
It's new, so I don't know. It's also
it's more progressive than USA though.
Oh, definitely. We need to learn from them.
Yeah.
But the thing about it though is I'm still just shaking my head this whole situation with this journalist being You asked the Saudi Arabians to investigate themselves. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Oh, the guy has ties with the prince. Oh, well, there you go. I mean, what do you? I mean,
His dad or something was like an arms dealer during the Saudi thing in the 80s or whatever. Him himself was like tied to like a bunch of other shit, Hollywood and blah blah blah. It's more. It's not really that he died. It's just that people actually caring, and that's more of a suspicion in itself than actually that they killed him, because they kill him. They kill reporters all the time. That
right.
happens all the fucking time. And but like this one person dies, and the people are like, "Oh my god, the apocalypse."
Yep.
No.
This is also fucking
But
ridiculous.
no one never ever explained what. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't have kept my butt right here in the United States. You know,
Yeah, that was retarded.
I'm like, I don't know what he was thinking about going to the Saudi embassy. What I mean, okay,
What the fuck do you think is gonna happen?
I know. I mean, they're definitely not going to go out there and shake your hand. They want to shake your head, like away from your neck. Yeesh.
Like,
But
hey. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that whole Saudi shit. Of all the things and all the times they get mad at, like I don't know. Just given the whole situation and the context of everything, it's just stupid.
And how many people they killed and made us go to war for?
Yep. Yep. So these other people, the people we led the show off with, Ben, they're having a new. They're not going to YouTube anymore. Have you ever heard of D Live TV?
I've never even heard of it.
D
That
Live.
sounds like
D Live TV.
it sounds sketchy as fuck.
Sounds like something Monk would use.
D Live TV.
It's a streaming service. I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so it looks just like YouTube. Mute it as soon as I post it. I just clicked it to see what the actual interface looks like. So it looks like YouTube's got a chat that looks just like it as well.
Yeah, it has like super chats and shit.
Yeah, looks 1.50K. That can't be. Nobody donated $1,500. That must be like their currency or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, just thought that was interesting. So
is this
YouTube.
is this is the guy that that got
banned? Yeah,
got banned.
I'm watching Killstream on it.
good.
Wow. Man, time off. Oh, by the way, I guess we should talk about the there was a tweet, but I can't find it now, where they were talking about infiltration.
Don't tell me he's a pedophile too.
No. No, but
I can't handle this.
no, but man. I mean, it's man, it doesn't look good for his career. And
Oh no, this is a serious thing. We did start to talk about this last time. Let me see. Find the tweet. God. This is all positive news today.
no, I'm so. By the way,
no, don't apologize. But you thought we were gonna have nothing to talk about. I was ready and waiting all day.
You mean
really
you started off with the
That's
doppelganger.
a bombshell.
You started with the doppelganger. Like, oh, Watson went hard in on Wizard. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we should talk about the little bit of a hilarity with the finals at Canada Cup.
Oh, this is a shit show.
The
whole event was apparently a shit show, which is very strange considering it's Lapchi, not just some Bob Donuts.
Right, and man. So whose idea was to combine Canada Cup with what the hell is the Enthusiast Gaming Live Expo? Because I've never heard of that before. Oh, I've never heard of that before. Of that.
I don't know.
I'm like, I've never heard of that. I mean, it's not
No,
like.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, because if I'm going to combine my event with some expo, it better be it better be like the tip of the top, the cream of the top, where it's just impeccable reputation, and it does. And I don't know. I mean, like, but that doesn't mean that isn't true. But I'm like, talking about Johnny Donuts. This Johnny Donuts Expo, I've never heard of it before. And man, I mean, I'm pretty. I hope that the goodwill that Lapshia has built up with the community and with Capcom, will get them through this, and not, they won't lose their premier status for the Pro Tour over this.
Jigger a little bit. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The blockchain is a little choppy.
Whoa. Who's got that on?
We should be back.
Mute that.
Okay. We did lose about 700 people. I apologize. But
I'm sorry. It started on its own. I wasn't even on the tab.
You have to exit it.
I wasn't even on the tab, and I thought like, oh, okay, we got somebody new on the line.
We're not restreaming or restream. Or yeah. Anyway. Yeah, just what a day for what a 24 hours for the FGC. I still can't find anything on it.
Oh, Mr. Wizard.
It's fucking bothering me.
It's still a taboo subject.
All right, if I go and I click to Mr. Wizard, even on the AIDS website, I don't get it. Okay, sort by new. What? Fan fiction? I'm not clicking that.
Oh yeah. Don't fall for the banana tailpipe.
I am not clicking that. That is asking for.
I've never heard the term a racist child abuser.
What?
Look at the link. A racist child abuser.
That's good. But that's good. What do you even? All right.
I'm just reading through this. I'm like,
no, I know.
Hey, you retard! You need to make a white man. You hear me? A white man. What the? Someone wants to give me some context on what this.
I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. I'm so fucking confused. Well.
Boy, you might as well make a nigger. Do you want to be running around this fucking game as a sand nigger? I don't, because they remove. Okay, when you're quoting someone, quote them. Don't remove the derogatory comments, because otherwise we don't. It's too hard to read.
Bunk, what are you talking about?
Okay, it's Leraldo posted it in RC. I guess I should just go ahead and post it into the Discord. I'm so sorry, folks. I didn't think that. For some reason, I thought it was already in Discord. Sorry. Let me just And again, this is much ado about nothing. I mean, someone says a racist comment, wasn't a racist tirade on a video game multiplayer. I mean,
That's great.
I have no words. I have no words. Although I mean, the best one I showed this. I think I like a year ago. There was this guy who pretended, he was able to dox people and he was able to get their identities, and then he goes in the game and he pretends like he's some African voodoo dude, and he's speaking this big, and he's I don't know using some sort of Oh, actually, no. I think he said he doesn't use any type of modifier for his voice. So it's this white dude, but he's able to do this African, uh, this African accent. I'll come for you. I will drink your blood. And I mean, he scared the shit out of some people. I know who you are, Jim. I mean, he's just like, I'm going to come there to New York, and I'm going to, I mean, he just, I mean, it is funny as hell. What do they call him?
God, this article's so fucked up.
Oh yes. Yes. There you go. Oh, listen to this shit. This is great. This is. I love the intro.
Alright, Luke, there's a little bitch laying down right here. I'm gonna fucking shoot him right in his fucking head. Get a fucking head.
The
fuck is this nigga speaking?
It means our bullets will pierce their brain like butter.
What? Is this nigga asking? What? This nigga's the devil, nigga. No, he's a fucking devil, yo.
Fufu yalambo, konani yamudi yabobo yawe.
What? Holy fuck. Your voice is deep fuck, dude.
Hey, Mr. Fusion.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the word voodoo?
The voodoo?
Yes.
Like black magic?
Yes. Good. By the way, Fusion.
Yeah.
You are from Windsor, Ontario.
Wait, how the fuck do you know that? Yo. How do you know that? Oh. Yo, how do you know that? Bro, I'm backing out.
Oh my gosh, that's a classic. I love that. I wish I can do that, but
such a deep voice.
And that's a white man.
I know, it's so obvious too. It's like I think of that one meme that everyone, where this is the part where we all put our heads back and laugh at you. That's what yeah, that's what I think of when I hear that voice. Because it just seems so like it's convincing, but it's also not at all.
Well, it convinced the fuck out of me, man. Because if he says some shit, he's like, "Hey, you live on 76th Street and everything." I'd be like, "Yeah, I have something for you if you try to come around these ways. I'm just letting you know that right now. You're gonna need all that voodoo you can ever have because got something for you." But anyway, yeah, that's the
to come full circle. Yeah, I've been frantically searching. Not frantically, but like thoroughly searching. I can't find a fucking thing still.
No, you're not going to. No one.
I can't find a thing.
Because first of all, obviously, this isn't new. I can tell you that for a fact. And B, no one's going to touch it with a 10-foot pole because, because until, someone comes forward or there's evidence and being confronted with it, everyone's going to prefer just to bury this, which is unfortunate.
Our fucking Kappa, and I can't find this shit. That's supposed to be Drama Land, isn't it?
Yeah, but but I keep on saying, Jim, it's a taboo subject. It's something that no one wants to talk about. Child sex abuse. It's even, I mean, it's just something that people just don't want to talk about, especially young people. Young adults, they don't want to talk about that.
Just, I don't know, just the accusation that somebody who runs a fighting game, like, no, not a fighting game tournament,
the largest one.
You know what's, I don't know. This is gonna sound. There's no right way to say this. It's gonna sound fucked up. But the only person that, if you like told me that they were accused of this, and I'd be like, oh, I'm not surprised at all, that runs tournaments, would be Jabali. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Jabali, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes.
I think that day may come one day.
Oh yes. I mean, because
oh man.
Booyah.
Oh man.
Booyah,
oh, I know all about you, Alex.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what accent I just did, but it was good.
I tried to do my best impression. I don't know if it worked or not.
No, I don't even try for the African accent.
Oh, by the way, I guess I should have mentioned at the beginning of the show because I don't think so. I've been in touch with. I had a couple more conversations with Vanessa May's manager, and it looks like that he wants to work closer together. So I mean, I will eventually like this to. I'm hoping that maybe, hopefully, I may be able to do an interview with her.
That's great.
Which would be really, really good. So we'll see what happens. All right, folks. Unless you guys got something else, I'm all out.
I'm just drained from not even just being tired. That's every day. Just this one story is just, it's so fucked, man. It's so fucked. And then the other story on top of it was so fucked. The people being kicked off YouTube, but then also $26,000 that was going to child's cancer research just refunded because social justice warrior fucking bullshit. Like, I don't know, dude, we live in a fucked up time. We live in a fucked up time. That's all I can say.
And I mean, if this is not proof that YouTube has a monopoly that needs to be broken up, well, there you go.
Yeah, but it's the same thing about Facebook. People have said that for fucking years. It's the same thing about Twitter. Like they run shit, and everyone says, "Oh, we just gotta break it up. We gotta break it up." It's not getting broke up, dude, because the people that are in charge want it to be run this way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, unless someone comes with a viable substitute, which I'm sure that I mean,
the problem is that they're platforming all the substitutes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's one way that you can make sure that you can.
Yeah, there's a few things. That's one of them, but there's a few things that are really hindering about it.
Yeah. I think that that this is it's really quite concerning because because again, it makes no sense, and it's obviously just a vendetta against this particular. Because one has nothing to do with the other. The donations to St. Jude's has nothing to do with the content of the channel. So, I mean, why would they go the extra step of stopping the donations? What is their reason for that? And because really there is none. Those were legitimate donations. And no one has said anything to the contrary. And I mean, I don't understand. I don't.
It's just so fucked. It's just so fucked to think of the power they have.
It's like, I mean, another example of it is PayPal.
Oh, PayPal's the anti. Don't even.
And I'm going, I mean, it's like, what do you care about well, apparently a lot, the political views of someone using your channel? I mean, what does it matter? I mean, as long as they're not breaking any laws, I mean, why do you care? I mean, it's not like that their viewpoints represents PayPal as a whole or anything like that. No one's ever going to misinterpret their views as you endorsing it. I mean, so just because you have a PayPal button on their site, who was that dude that just got a oh, he not dude. What was that site that recently got a letter from PayPal? It was like, please remove your PayPal button. We close your PayPal account.
Was it Gab?
Yeah, Gab.
Mm-hmm.
Gab, which is the quote unquote competitor to Twitter, that's working out well.
I mean, they have just as much. They have more censorship than Twitter, and
yeah, I know. That's why it's really funny.
The irony. Oh.
Oh wow! So if you go to Gab's website right now, this is what you get. An interesting world.
Well, I was gonna tell this one story. It's kind of related to all of this. It's kind of
okay.
All right. So it goes. I recently assisted a young man who was subjected by administrators at his small liberal arts university in Oregon to a month-long investigation into all of his campus relationships, seeking information about his possible sexual misconduct in them, and who was ordered to stay away from a fellow student, cutting him off from his housing, his campus job, and educational opportunity, all because he reminded her of the man who had raped her months before and 1,000 miles away. He was found to be completely innocent of any sexual misconduct and was informed of the basis of the complaint against him only by accident and offhand. But the stay away order remained in place and was so broadly drawn up that he was at constant risk of violating it and coming under discipline for that.
Can you link that?
I put it into the political. Wait, I'll link it again in general, I guess. Okay. This is Harvard Law Review about Title 9.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what's happening.
Oh, their host dropped them. Wow. Okay, just cuckoo. I was just saying, wow. Wow. You mean people say the Illuminati don't exist? Okay.
Hey, we've come full circle.
I mean,
what, 15 years ago?
I know, man. I mean, I was talking about the Illuminati way before it became a meme. Now, people was like, now you got the anime Illuminati. It's.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you get the right people mad,
oh yeah,
you get taken off every payment service, every website, every fucking everything.
I mean, I guess the founder of WikiLeaks found, he was probably the most famous, well-known example of that. I mean, PayPal cut him off, and
that's why Bitcoin or like blockchain and all that is important. That's like the only way you can actually support people anymore.
Yeah, man, but I have a feeling like that Bitcoin crash a few months ago. I have a feeling that the bankers are behind that. I think they try their best to destabilize Bitcoin, and
there was some rumor that it was like Saudi princes selling off Bitcoins because there was like some kind of like some controversy in the Saudi government, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it remains to be seen. I don't trust it because at any time they can just be like, "Oh, this is worth nothing. Fuck you." Like we control the world.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, and it's just, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that they want to undermine it, and well, you know what, undermine it to the point where it still will never be a major player, it will never be a big competition to the banks. They don't
Yeah.
need to.
Well, there's other digital currencies that could come and be better. I guess I don't know.
They
Yeah,
can,
I mean,
but
it's
I
going to
mean,
be a
what
whack-a-mole.
what actually gives the tangible value? That's where it becomes sketchy. Like where is the actual tangible value
Yeah,
in it?
Peter Schiff. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
exactly. And that's what I go back to with all sorts of shit. And it's just like even when people were freaking out, like, oh, gold is like the one thing that will always be worth something. Like, why? No, it won't.
Mm-mm-mm.
You can't guarantee that. You absolutely cannot. So it's just all about what is accepted inherent currency. So I don't really I align with Schiff on that for sure.
Well, I mean, the only reason why gold would be still acceptable is because everyone is backed by gold, in like except for like the United States, really.
Yeah,
Like
until they
everyone else is
decide it's
backed.
not worth it anymore. Like until the world just decides it's not worth it, and it can happen faster than we think, and
Oh
it'll
yeah,
just be like, oh well, you know what, this is worth nothing. The end. Bye. This used to be worth something, but now we're stupid, or this was stupid idea. It's no longer worth anything. That's why I think inherent value is something to be
Yeah,
considered. But
because at
as
the,
far as all of them, gold is the longest standing one, obviously.
yeah.
but
It's
but
And
only it's
diamonds,
the only
and
one that's
diamonds.
in the current modern society right now. I mean, if society changed, I agree with you.
but
Well,
but
that's what I'm scared of is society just abruptly changing, and I think cryptocurrency is going to have a big part of that. That's my point. That's all.
but Jim brings up a good point that when it comes to value in currency, that's largely managed by perception, and in that perception can be changed by the powerful few. From something being worthless to something highly sought after, and then vice versa. I mean, I think that they could. It's a whack-a-mole. They can never, stamp out. Um, they can
Oh
never
yeah,
stamp out, Bitcoin, because the idea is still holds weight in a lot of people's minds. And the idea of um, a currency that is not controlled by the elite few, a currency that allows for privacy and everything. So there's still people who believe in that. So they'll never go away totally. But they probably understand that, even if they make Bitcoin fail, there's going to be 10 currencies coming behind it. So again, I think that it's one of those things um, uh, where there's always going to be around, and they'll probably allow it to exist until they perceive it to become a threat to their dominance.
see,
Then
my
they'll
problem. Yeah, I agree with you, but my problem with Bitcoin is that if there's no internet, there's no Bitcoin. So if something really majorly changed, there'd be probably no Bitcoin to be traded.
you say if there's no internet, there's no Bitcoin. But
Well, I mean, if society changed to the point where everything was flipped complete, like upside down.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing will be worth anything
well,
anymore.
well, I mean,
right, that's
if
what I'm saying. If the internet, if there's no
like,
internet, there's a whole lot of businesses that go down with it.
well, no. I mean, there's still some form of like you could trade. There's still ways you could still. I mean, it's just because they removed all the physical, like most of the physical. There's still. I mean, there's still actual physical transportation and actual waterways, and there's still like ways you could still transfer materials. And there's like that's what jobs are. It's just they're gonna have to go back to doing it manually.
But it's interesting though. It's well, yes, because there's no tangible something, because even with obviously gold is, people think about gold as being worth a lot because it's rare, but that's not really the reason why gold is worth a lot in people's minds, because gold is an incredibly, it's one of the strongest metals known to man. It does not
No.
corrode. It does not, it doesn't rust or anything like that. So it stands the test of time. So and not to mention its physical beauty too. But I mean, it's also an incredibly, there is so many uses for it, and by its very nature, it's a very very enduring metal. So you know, so I understand what even if gold, like
Well,
nowadays, you can't play.
if we're gonna go back to metals, like just in general, there's like they're saying they were saying in like the 80s that the more metals that were getting created, like mixing other metals like titanium, like you'd always measure everything by that. Now it's like you're going by like other things like gems and other like diamonds, and then it's gonna change to something else. Like
Yeah.
whatever you could produce as a physical form, like that could be valuable and traded. Like that's how basically currency is. It's just replacing one need for another.
Right.
It
Bartering.
just like yeah, bartering. It's basically you go back to bartering. If there were no goods, if there's no money, there'd be just bartering.
Yeah, but the big banks don't like the idea of bartering, because in a bartering, um, the value is determined by the people that are bartering, not by an entity that decides for everybody what that
Oh,
value is worth. And
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's no currency, like gold, is loses all its value,
mm,
and then there's like that's what basically blockchain is. It's just bartering with just the numbers. That's all you're doing. I mean, you're not really trading actual physical substance.
right.
So you're basically setting the value of Bitcoin by the value of the what you're willing to pay for it with is in physical goods.
But the only thing about Bitcoin though is that um, I like this is what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, are there are there apps where you can um where it's just like with Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, where you can pay, like you can just run your phone over and then pay something in Bitcoin at a store.
Oh, there probably is, but
Yeah, there has to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're coming up with new ways to manage your bitcoins that are more that's safer than it was before in the past.
But
I
it's
mean,
just one of those things where I feel like that if they really wanted to, if the big banks really don't like, if they think that Bitcoin is becoming too bit of a or cryptocurrency, I should go saying Bitcoin, if cryptocurrency is becoming too, then all they got to do is ask Apple and Android and Google to pull the plug on it. you know I mean, because I mean, again, I mean, 99% of phones.
Christman said W.
What?
Somebody's watching a stream. What? Who the hell?
Okay, that's strange.
I gotta run though. Kid's not sleeping well tonight, so it was good talking to you guys.
Richmond said
Same
nigger
here.
nigger. Ralph retort is a nigger. Ralph hates Jews.
Oh,
WW.
perfect.
WWW. WW.
Oh my
W.
gosh.
Richmond said nigger nigger. Ralph retort is a nigger. Ralph hates Jews.
I'm so sorry,
WW.
folks.
I banned him.
WWWW. WWW. Richmond said nigger nigger. Ralph retort is a nigger.
Oh my
Ralph
God.
hates Jews.
How do you
WW.
turn this off?
WWWW. WWW. Richmond said nigger
Wow.
nigger. Ralph retort is a
I'm so
nigger.
sorry, folks. I'm
Ralph
gonna
hates
shut this.
Jews.
I'm just going to go ahead and shut the stream off. I apologize for this. Somebody always got to ruin it.
Richman said nigger. Ralph retort is a nigger. Ralph hates Jews.
Ralph is not even in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, good night, folks.
Richman said nigger. Ralph retort is a nigger. Ralph hates Jews.